Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 601. I'm 12 minutes tardy. That means the boss is going to make me stay late today. So, what's up? Good Monday morning. I got some sun yesterday. My I did more other hobbying on Sunday. Took a long bike ride, tended to my garden. Summertime that's the thing. In the winter, I live in Wisconsin. I only have one hobby, and it's also my day job, selling baseball cards. And once the weather gets nice, like summer, now, all of the other hobbies pop up, the outdoor things, the bike riding and the gardening and the lawn. I was talking about this, and it's funny how life hits you. Life goes fast. And my buddy's party last weekend, uh, well, before COVID, he called it SummerSlam. Sorry, Vince McMahon and WWE. He would have a SummerSlam party, and it was usually around the time of his birthday. It was kind of a birthday party per se, and so over the years, the first few parties, we were in our 20s, and we're talking about just partying and all that stuff. What 20 somethings talk about. Now, all of a sudden, it was like, and then some of them, started having kids. They're talking minivans, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, minivans. And then, now we were talking about keeping up our lawns, and we were joking around. Me and one of the other guys were looking at my friend's lawn, and I'm like, I was really impressed. And this really showed it's like, oh my God, I'm getting old. I'm turning into my dad. I looked over, he's got this big tree. And I was really impressed that he had nice green grass all around the tree trunk, which you don't often see around trees. Usually there's at least, maybe it's dead grass, or maybe it's just, dirt, because grass doesn't grow there. So I was very impressed by the lawn. I told this guy, I'm like, COVID turned me into the old man in his lawn. And he's like, me too. And he's like, I actually looked into franchising a lawn care company. I didn't take it that far, but I do find myself watering. I was watering the gardens yesterday evening after my bike ride. And then I started just watering the front yard because I didn't want, we got a lot of rain earlier in the week last week. But then it's been sun. It's going to be really hot today. It's like, I don't want my yard to burn up, turn brown. I want at least the front yard to look nice, fresh, and green. So I found myself standing there with the hose, watering my front yard. Anyway, what's up, Jenny? Hobby weekend was great. Local shows are far better than traveling to the national. I would agree with that. I mean, nothing beats the national. I will say nothing beats the national, but the price is steep. At least, if you're not nearby, it's an expensive trip. Dan, what is up? Cropping some scanned White Sox first round draftee cards. Very cool. Herman is with us. Good morning, Herman. Mark, good morning. Can't believe I missed episode 600. Had all the kids over early yesterday. It just happened to coincide with Father's Day. So hope you enjoyed your Father's Day. Jenny says no mail Monday. Yes. And Jenny messaged me yesterday, and or Saturday over the weekend, and said no mail Monday. And I'm like, what? I had to Google it. I didn't realize it's now a federal holiday, Juneteenth. So no mail today. So don't check your mailbox. Don't drive to the post office. It'll be a wasted trip. Gives you an extra day if you're selling on eBay. Gives you that extra business mail day. Let's see. I wish 600 would have fell on a Monday. Although I don't have anything to talk about today. That's why whenever you see the generic, the original, I'm using the original thumbnail. That's when I don't have anything to talk about. But sometimes those are the most fun I have, because the chat just kind of guides us. Zach and Porter, what is up? Good morning to you guys. I need to watch the video. I have not watched the video, so I got to watch. I got to see what Porter got Zach for Father's Day. So I need to watch that after this video. I don't know. I don't think John has checked in yet, but I did watch John's latest video last night as I was doing some shipping. Some cool stuff there. Dave is with us. Good morning, Dave. So yesterday I went on a bike ride. Did 26 miles. Now, full disclosure, it is an e-bike. So I've got the pedal assist on. The hills, I'm hitting that throttle, although there's a monster hill a few miles from. Basically, I wanted to take a country cruise yesterday, which is, here's the thing, like Madison has some awesome, like we have bike trails, bike paths everywhere. And I've only been on like 2 of them. And I like have not ridden into like the city and around the lake, and I haven't done any of that. I like being out in the country. I just like going at my own pace. Sometimes I'll veer off. Like yesterday, I veered off the path and took some country roads because the bike path can be pretty busy. So I took I would take some scenic routes. So yesterday I was just in the mood. Like I want to just go out in the country. So when I do, there's this just absolute monster of a hill. And I'm just like, my legs turn into rubber. So when my legs are getting tired, I'm a couple miles out and it's like, I still have that big hill to climb. It's fun going down it because I can really get that speed up. Although I don't go as fast as I can because it's kind of a curve, and it is kind of not a well-traveled. There's typically a couple cars as I traverse. So, but I typically, I'm riding the brakes as I go down because it is a little windy. There are, other vehicles. So I'm a little cautious, but I'll get it to 35 miles per hour going down. But if I wasn't riding the brakes, heck, I could probably hit 50. It's that steep and long of a hill. Let's see. Cooter, what's up? George, what is up? So I was, George's photography inspired me. I wanted to take some nature shots. Took a shot. I think I tweeted the creek bed, and it was just very soothing. And that was on my way back, and I stopped off on, it's just this creek it actually runs across the bike through the bike path, but it's just off the bike path on the country road. So I stopped there, and it's just, the creek, the water hitting the rocks, and it's like one of those CDs you put on if you can't sleep at night, and it's that soothing water creek bed sound. So that was fun. Took some pictures there. Jenny says it's okay with me if there's nothing to talk about. We always get you talking, and I love the show. This morning has been struggling with panic attacks, and always know I got my 7 a.m. crew to distract. Well, I appreciate that, and glad we can all share in the love of the hobby. So I took 20. I did. There's John. What's up, John? Did the bike ride. And I got some sun. Check out that. Can you see? Oh yeah, look at that. Got a good old farmer's tan rocking. Came home and did some yard work. Grilled some burgers last night. I made so when I do burgers, I only season with pepper. Like that's the only seasoning I use. Sometimes I'll get fancy and I'll get one of those Hidden Valley Ranch ranch dressing powder packets, and I'll do a ranch burger. Um, but for the most part, I just do pepper. And sometimes I'll do some like burger seasoning packets if I get something in like that in my stocking at Christmas or whatever. But typically it's just pepper. I just do pepper in my burger, and then ketchup and mustard, when I eat it, or sometimes barbecue sauce. Um, so yesterday I went to the grocery store, and like I want to do something different. Um, Not just a regular burger, not just a pepper burger. I'm gonna do a stuffed burger, and I have like the patty where you can make the patties, so it makes it easier to form. Just two smaller patties. Put some cheese in there and close it up. So I found some like cheese sticks, not string cheese or anything like that, but it's I was looking for the cubes. They used to have, I think, Kraft sold them in uh, with the shredded cheese, but it was cubes. And those are perfect for stuffed burgers. Gassy again this morning. But it wasn't, they didn't have any of the cubes. They had like the sticks, which worked. You just snap them in, several pieces. So put those together and drop those in. Stuffed burgers, delicious, very, very tasty. What I've also discovered, like recently, like this was only the second time I tried this, honey mustard on a burger. This is probably a thing. Everybody else has probably tried it, but me. I did this, we were out of mustard, and I had just, when I go to the grocery store, sometimes I just pick up the most random stuff, and my wife will be like, "Why did you get that?" It's like, looked good. So I picked up some honey mustard. I'm like, I'm gonna try this on a burger. I'm gonna do ketchup and honey mustard on a burger. And damn, it was good. Honey mustard on a burger, freaking amazing. And then I did it last night with the my stuffed cheeseburger. Very good. Try it if you have not tried honey mustard. Just honey mustard and ketchup on a burger. Very good. So that's what I grilled last night. My wife doesn't really eat red meat. Really, the only meat she eats is like salmon and chicken. No pork, and really no red meat. But she'll do burgers, but she like puts panko and barbecue sauce, and it's got to be, because I had to. She's like, Pick and Save is the grocery store we go to, which is annoying. And every time I get so frustrated going there, I've talked about this, but I keep going anyway, and so does she. Where was I at? Oh, barbecue sauce. It's dang it, I can't remember what it's called now. But she's like, they don't have it, but I always get it at Target. So Target's right next to the Pick and Save grocery store. So I'm like, well, I want to go check out Target. So I hopped into Target before I went to the Pick and Save. And I went to the card section. The grocery section's over here. The card section's over here. I went to the card section entrance so I could peek over. They had 3 blaster boxes of Bowman U, but I did not buy any. I may go back this week. You never know. I need some more. So they had 3 Bowman U football blasters. And they did not have the barbecue sauce that she wanted. I'm like, okay, well, I'll go to Pick and Save, and I don't know what we're going to do. Pick and Save did. And she was just there Saturday. And she's like, I must have missed it. I'm like, well, it's kind of hidden. It's at the bottom, because it's not a good barbecue sauce. It's one of those, it's the bottom shelf barbecue sauces. So she makes, it's barbecue sauce, panko, ketchup, an egg. It's basically, I call it meatloaf. It's basically a meatloaf burger. And it's not bad. Like, it's not what I would prefer. Her grandma, bless her soul, her grandma tried making similar, and I think maybe that's where my wife got the recipe from. But Grandma put milk in hers. Oh my god! So we had these one night. It's like Grandma's gonna make the meatloaf burgers or whatever they're called with the milk. Not very good. Sorry, Grandma. Kentucky Reseller, what is up? Asks, have you done a video on how you ship multiples in PWE? No, I haven't, but that's a great idea. A lot of times I get recommendations and stuff in the chat and I don't write them down. So I'm going to actually write this down. Video on multiples. And this is pretty easy for me to do because I've got a bunch to ship. So I can just, the next one I do, I'll just turn the camera on. I'll just do it down here and put that up. So I'll do that today. Multiples in a PWE. And I'm going to put that right on my label printer. So it's top of mind. So Kentucky Reseller, look for that video. I'll take care of that today because it's really easy because I'm right here. The camera's right there and I can do that. Let's see. It's pretty much the sun. It's pretty much the sound of John's voice in liquid form. Let's see. The cucumber grower's arm. Right? Yeah. Get a Jeep. It's like a tanning booth on wheels. There you go. Card Hobbyist, what is up? Good morning. Jenny said, really got some sun there. Yeah, it was. The sun was. I think even my computer down on the toolbar down there. I think it even said like high UV. So the sun's rays were in effect. Garlic salt is good in burgers as well. Keeps bats away. There you go. I don't know. I'll have to try that because I do like to tinker around with some of the seasonings and just see what I like. Let's see. George says, I at Whack Arnold's tonight and drink a Corona now. Let's see. John, you need to keep bats away from your burgers. What kind of state do you live in? When I lived in Macomb, especially when I lived on this one street, it was like off campus, but like close to campus. And it was a lot of old houses. It was, a lot of your 2-story homes built at the turn of the century, the turn of the 19th into the 20th century, early 1900s. Lots of bats. And you would go outside and you would see at night the bats just flying around. And I mean, it was bad. And it was only in that like other neighborhoods I lived in, every once in a while you would see bats, but now I never see a bat. And I never, when I grew up in a small town, I don't recall. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I take that bat. When I worked at the IGA, our local grocery store in high school, we had a bat problem. And every once in a while, a bat would get in the store and be flying around inside the grocery store. And like I was the only, most of the grocery store employees were like retired old ladies, and then me. And so they would call me to come in and with my fishnet, and I was the bat. And actually, I think bats are protected. I don't think they're endangered, but they're protected. So you can't kill bats, which you shouldn't kill animals anyway. I'm just going to say that so PETA doesn't flag my video. So I would take the bat and, put it outside, let it fly away. And then 2 weeks later, it'd probably be back in the grocery store. But it was a very old store. And I'm sure there were lots of little crevices that bats could squeeze into and fly amongst the customers in the local IGA. But that's really, in my small town, that's like the only time I saw bats was when I got called in or when I was working. Oh, there's a bat. There's a bat in the store. Bring your fishnet. Peanut butter on a burger, Jenny says. I've had that. And I'm not a fan of peanut butter burgers. And I think I've shared this story before. When my father-in-law, he passed away a few years ago, we would go. He loved burgers. And much like my wife and I have much different tastes in food, same with him and my mother-in-law. And so he would never get to go to like dive burger joints and stuff like that. So when my wife and my mother-in-law would go out to dinner with the girls or go shopping, you know, he would be like, hey, you want to go to Quaker Steak? Or, hey, you want to go to Mr. Brews, the burger joint? So Mr. Brews has kind of like the fancy burgers, and they had a peanut butter and jelly burger. And so that's like one of the first times we went, that's what I ordered. And he just looked at me. It's like, why are you ordering that? And I didn't like it. And so like, he's like, so how was it? And I'm like, yeah, it wasn't that good. And he's like, well, duh, it's a peanut butter burger. What I did not like the peanut butter burger combo. What I did like is the jelly they used was more of a, gosh, I don't know what you would say, but it was kind of it had kind of a kick to it. It was like almost like, what's the sauce Buffalo Wild Wings, like the mango habanero, where it's the hot and the sweet and spicy or whatever. And it was something like that, but it was like raspberry chipotle or raspberry jalapeno or something. And it was good because it had that sweetness that kind of softened the kick to it. So I would have loved the burger minus the peanut butter, but with that spread, that sweet and spicy spread on it. John says people in Wisconsin using Kraft for their cheese just shattered my illusions. I know it's but Kraft is really big here. I think they actually we had a huge Kraft plant here in Madison. And Oscar Mayer was here in Madison as well, which is kind of the same. Oscar Mayer, you would not think that Wisconsin people would be Oscar Mayer fans with, you know, the not Italian sauce, the bratwursts and all that. Let's see. But yes, we when I'm at the store so Pick and Save, and I hate on this grocery store chain all the time. It's just kind of like it's not very Wisconsin. Like it's, you know, they don't have, actually they do kind of have like, I don't know if I was going to use the word craft beer, craft cheese, but Kraft is a cheese. So fancy cheese. There is a fancy cheese section, I guess, near the produce section, but then in the dairy, that's where all the, you know, generic and Kraft and all that other cheese. Card Hobbyist prefers A1 on burgers. Peanut butter burgers are good, but the best I ever had was a chocolate bacon cheeseburger. Was pretty much mole on a burger. That sounds interesting because I like the bacon. I like the bacon aspect. You get that sweet and salty mix. Card Hobbyist says, Bowman, you mentioned take a shot. Garlic in the sweat glands keeps everything away. Ain't that the truth? The restaurant was actually a chocolate maker that sold burgers, and they used the chocolates they made for the chocolate sauce. Victor, what's up, Victor? Let's late start at work. Good morning. Good morning to you. My mother used to make impossible cheeseburger pie with Bisquick. Probably the foulest thing I ever put in my mouth, and I used to be a roadie. Zach Sports Cards and Collectibles, what is up? Good morning. He's in Georgia, down there hanging out with Herman in Georgia. So how many bottles of flat beer with cigarette butts have you had? Oh gosh. And I'm actually, because I can smell that. Like reading that, flat beer and cigarette butts. I know that smell. That's the smell of college for me. I never smoked, but I was around a lot of smokers and a lot of day old half drank beers with cigarette butts floating. Oh, that smell. I need to take a drink of coffee and get that smell out of my mind. Card Hobbyist says, you know you're from a small town if your grocery store is an IGA or a Piggly Wiggly. So we always had, our store always had the IGA, but we actually, and I think because it was, I think when I was a kid, it was actually like a red and white chain. And then it became part of the IGA, which I think is that International Grocers Alliance. And essentially, IGA was a kind of like a cooperative, I guess, of small grocery store owners got together, and they would go in to get better deals, because just like with anything, if you only buy 10 of a product, it's going to cost you a lot more than if you buy 1,000 of a product. So if you collect all of these small chains and go in together as an alliance, and you make a purchase of 1,000 items as IGA as opposed to 10 items for the local mom and pop grocery store, you get better deals. But I don't think they were like, we had the IGA sign, and I actually don't know. And I still Facebook friends with my boss and the owner of the store, and ran into him, talked to him and his wife at the Anawan Fun Days a couple weeks ago. So I gotta ask him. And I do know that they, because he announced it on like the grocery store Facebook page a while back, a couple years ago, they were teaming up, or they were have a new distributor, and it's actually here in Madison, Wisconsin. Certco is the name of it. I don't know how I got on that. Oh, so it was an IGA. We don't have, I don't see any IGAs up around here, but Piggly Wigglies are really big in the small towns in Wisconsin. Let's see. Cooter says, at dusk, we sit on our deck and watch bats chase bugs in our backyard. Son had a bat in his college apartment this year, possibly the most non-alcohol induced fun they had all year. I see them every night and it's fascinating. It's like people in Philly using generic batteries. We have a local chain that makes a chili cheeseburger that is half hamburger, half country sausage with everything, including the bun covered in chili. Interesting. I used to make, I would do bacon burgers. And so I would just cut up pieces of bacon and then put them in the hamburger meat. The problem is with those, what I found was it takes longer to cook the bacon than the actual burger meat. So the problem I had cooking it in that way was either the burger was cooked too well or the bacon was undercooked within the burger. So I kind of stopped making those. I tried cooking the bacon first and then putting it in the burger meat, but that just, it didn't jive within the burger. So I just kind of gave up. We called them, I think, all American burgers. And this was my friend Neil's idea. And this was, 10, 15 years ago. And we had a 4th of July party, and he's like, I'm going to make these bacon burgers. We're going to call them the all American burger. Each burger, and they were big, like 1 pound burgers, completely wrapped in slices of bacon. 8 slices of bacon per burger. We had 32 slices, so 4 burgers on the grill, and it created, I've probably shared the picture before. It creates quite the fire. And that was an epic fail. And I also made that year, and this was an epic fail the next day, a jalapeno burger. And I didn't take the seeds out, and I basically the burger looked the burger was half green. I had that many jalapenos with seeds, and it became a bad idea the following day, if you follow my drift. The next day was not kind. Let's see, which would make IGA an oxymoron. We have to rip off IGAs here in Korea, same signage, but here in Korea, so I'm sure it's a fake. They like to rip off foreign logos. Independent, which, yes, it does sound like an oxymoron. Independent Grocers Alliance. Let's see. Kraft is processed cheese food if you read the label. Artisan cheese. There you go. Artisan cheese. Let's see where we at here. Randy made it back from the Midwest Monster. Want to hear the state of the hobby? Definitely. So Randy, share your thoughts on the Midwest Monster, because and this is actually something I wanted to touch on, because I think we're in kind of this weird hobby state right now. And it's the economy is in the dumps. And the hobby is just kind of in this weird flux. I don't know if flux is the right word to use in that. But there's some people that are, oh, the hobby's in great, it's great. Some people are, oh, the hobby's in the dumps. It's diving. It's basically in the middle. But I do want to share some of my thoughts. The Midwest, from all accounts that I've read, the Midwest Monster, and this was a big show in Fishers, Indiana. A lot of good reviews. I heard a lot of positive reviews on the Midwest Monster in Fishers, Indiana. On the other hand, the Chicago Sports Spectacular, I did not hear a single positive review. A lot of, and I shared some of the the thoughts from the blowout forums in yesterday's show. I'll have to go look at the if there's any reviews on the blowout forums of the Midwest Monster. I don't know if I'm frozen on your channel, but okay, now I'm back. So I'm going to get to the chat, and then I want to share just some of my thoughts on what's going on. Jenny said, when I logged in this morning, I had no idea we would be talking burgers, but here we are 40 minutes in. Where's Rich at this? Yes, Rich loves the food talk. He'll enjoy today's program. Bacon is a standalone meat, doesn't need to be hidden inside anything. I agree. I wanted to get fancy and try something new, and I learned. Rich is at Dunkin' getting breakfast. Cooter says, no, John Bacon is in its own food group. It's amazing. Bo still has taste buds. It's amazing. We have 20 people watching live on burgers. That's our crew, chickens and burgers. What's up, Diego? Good morning to you. I'm in a province. We don't have states here. No thanks, Randy. I only get my hobby news from Jeff Wilson. Let's see. The Card Hobbyist says, Bo, have you noticed a significant drop in eBay listing impressions? I just started selling low end a couple months ago, and impressions fell about 40%. Probably shows where hobby interest is at. So I want to share my thoughts on shows and eBay. So Card Hobbyist, I'm glad you brought that up. There was a lot of discussion on Twitter here over the weekend. My sales just and I shared results yesterday's show, so I won't go over the numbers again here this morning. But I had in Jenny ads, I honestly wonder if it's the summer months. My numbers, and I was actually in a conversation yesterday about this. My numbers don't reflect just a typical summer weekend dip. Based on historical within the last few months, especially within the last 30 days. I mean, my chart just looks absolutely, I was cruising along all weekend. I even had a really good weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday last weekend. And it just and then Monday, Tuesday kind of took a dip. Actually Mondays are Mondays and Saturdays are typically my lowest selling days on eBay. Mondays and Saturdays. And then usually it's almost like, okay, start at the weekend is here, and then drop, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there's kind of a build, and then Saturday is kind of a wild card. Some Saturdays I have great results, some I have terrible results, and kind of the same on Sundays. But all of a sudden, my Friday this past week just dropped off. Saturday was terrible, but Saturdays can be terrible, so I didn't. But based on historical Fridays, just absolutely awful. And that was much the same for a lot of people. In fact, I had one or two people reach out to me via direct message on Twitter. Hey, how are your eBay sales? Mine just tanked on Friday. And I'm like, yeah, same here. But mine did bounce back. I had a really good Sunday, a really good Sunday yesterday. So Card Hobbyist asks about impressions. Mine have been improving. Now, about a week ago, last Monday, my impressions were like yours, just way off. Mine have bounced back. So I bet a week ago I was probably 30 to 40% down on impressions, but I'm back up to only down 9% in the last 30 days. So I'm when I just opened this up, I'm actually pretty happy with where my traffic is impressions wise, over 14 million. Now, a few weeks ago, I would have been really disappointed because I'm up over 13,000 active listings now. And, I had 14 million impressions on about 4,000 listings, several months ago, a year ago. But that's where we're at. And I think we all knew a year ago, we were going to be in a spot much like this in summer 2022, because it just wasn't the hobby where it was a year ago, 18 months ago. It was just not sustainable. So that's my eBay, just absolute suckage on Friday and Saturday. And impressions seem to be on the upswing a little bit. Let's see. Card Hobbyist, I'm here for the segue. Randy says, I was set up at the show. I had the best table at the show. I was the very first table once you came in the show. It was amazing. Here's a recap. A ton of window shoppers. Very little money spent. That's a trend that I've noticed at shows. And even a year ago, I would notice that at various shows, everybody wants to trade. And I started to see that trend about the time when the hobby started to make its descent. I think we were at the peak in say February, March of 2021. I think that's when everything hit the peak, and then it was just kind of a slow descent from there. And then by July, August, I think the national was popping, but then I think August, that's when it's like, I think we're in a downswing, and it just continued. And that's when I started hearing more and more, everybody wants to trade, or all the customers at card shows are coming in. They just want to dump their cards. And I started seeing that late summer, early fall 2021. Low Roller says a lot of people are complaining selling on eBay. Are you forcing use promotions listing fee? I heard a lot of eBay views are down on each listing. Views are down, but it's because eBay's changed the way they count them. So I know there's a lot of panic on low views, but it's counting them different. It's not counting the bots, and it's a 30-day window. It's not all time where you would have a listing, say it's been on eBay for 3 months, and at one time it had 300 views. Now it only has 100. Well, it's only the last 30 days, and they're not counting those bots. So you could tweet, 6 months ago, I would tweet a listing, a link to my listing, and it would automatically have 40 views with the click of that link, because it was bots. It was a lot of bot traffic. It was like 38 out of the 40 were bots, and 2 were actual people clicking on the link. So it's just counting them differently. Let's see. George says all of the big guns are saying buy, but don't pay a lot because it's a buyer's market. So I think people are listening and just not paying, which leads to just not buying at the moment. Jenny says I spent all my money Saturday at new first-time dealers, the same dealers month to month for me. I don't dig through anymore because it's not updated enough. Randy adds, recap people trading for cash and cards. Not nearly the traffic we thought there would be. Most dealers were selling at 2021 prices. Most people not willing to sell at a loss. And I see that a lot. I see that a lot at the shows that I attend. People are well, this is what I'm into it. Well, the market's changed. And it's you either are holding a museum piece or you're going to take a loss. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm curious about the traffic because from all other accounts I read about the Midwest Monster in Fishers, Indiana, it seemed to be. I heard a lot of positive reviews. So I'm curious, and if it was a different week, and I don't know who scheduled what first, but it's real crappy to have two, big regional shows in the Midwest within 2 hours apart, 3 hours apart on the same weekend, because Chicago and Fishers. So that's definitely going to take traffic away, because I know some people that if Chicago didn't have a show, they would have definitely been in Fishers, and I'm sure vice versa. So it's just, poor planning on those two shows. It's unfortunate. Cooter says, hate to be Dougie Downer, but with inflation, higher interest rates, and declining 401ks, I am afraid the bottom is still far below where we are today. I agree. It's going to continue to decline. Post to Trice is closed. Post to Trice. Post office is closed. Yes. Federal holiday today, Juneteenth. So no mail today. Buyers lead the trend. Sellers need to adapt. I agree. Bo's museum pieces are Bowman U, and I could be stuck holding, a lot of Bowman U. Who knows? We'll see in 3-4 months. You never take a loss if you sell 25 cents to $1 box since all the price stay the same. Yeah, yes and no. You can take a loss if you have more if you're selling 25-cent cards at a show, you have table price, you have travel expense, and if you don't have traffic at a show and you don't make many sales, you're going to take a loss. Buyers, not sellers, determine actual market prices. And Jenny says you could if you buy the wrong dollar cards. Yeah. It's not just if you're selling bargain box cards. It's there still could be some losses. So from my own standpoint is, running the Madison Card Show, which I don't think we're 43 minutes in, and I have not said the magic words. This coming Saturday is the Madison Card Show at the Sheraton Hotel, and it's on John Nolan Drive. Take a drink. 9 to 3 this Saturday, free admission, 120 tables, but I'm not sold out. And I just tweeted this, and it may have been in response to one of Jenny's tweets or somebody's tweet. This is the first time in probably more than 6 months that I still have tables available the week of the show. I have typically been sold out of tables 2 weeks in advance, sometimes even further. So I think I have 10 open tables. So right now I'm at 110 booked out of 120 tables. So and I do know, some people, hey, I've got stuff going on, which is typical of summer months. And I can't compare this to a year ago because I just did one room. I didn't do the hallway. I was still growing the show. Last June, I think I hit 40 tables for the first time last June. So to be at 110 confirmed, year over year is great growth, even with this declining hobby market. So I have to keep keep level headed with in that regard. But when you look at it in the near term, in the past few months, where last month I had 135 tables and I was sold out, you know, a week a week out. You know, basically Monday morning last month I was at 135 booked. You know, the April show I was at 120 tables, and I think I was sold out. Well, that the April show, heck, I was sold out 2 or 3 weeks in advance, and that's what really killed me on the late cancels was I had a waiting list. I could have filled 150 tables in April, but then all of a sudden I had, you know, a lot of late cancels and I was in scramble mode. And a lot of people, you know, went to other shows, booked other plans, were not available. So I had empty tables in April. So that's where I'm at. And yes, a lot of it has to do with summer travel. Um, a lot of my regular dealers, you know, I'm trying to think off the top of one is at I think a wedding. Um, Another one has like a sporting event or something. Uh, a lot of sporting events, you know, with travel baseball, travel softball, and all that. One regular dealer, family vacation. I think it's Hawaii. So better than the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive. So a lot of regulars, they're doing summer things. I've got a few dealers that are taking summers off. In fact, I've got 2 or 3 regulars. They're like, September will probably be my next show. And that's actually pretty common among my regular dealers. So I'm hoping, I'm not confident that we're going to see this big turn in the economy and in the next 3 months, but hopefully, we can kind of at least not be, I'm not expecting anything like we saw in 2021, but maybe if we can get back to January, February, March of 2022, carry over into the fall. So yes, a lot of it does have to do with summer, but a lot of it also has to do with just the economy and the hobby in general. Randy says, more recap, 25-cent cards are now unsleeved base cards, and cards that should be in dollar boxes are now in $5 boxes. And I'll stop there and catch up on the last sentence. But I know that was common last year on the way up. The National. In fact, and here's there was a big bargain dealer in the back corner at the National last year, and did some bulk discounts, and he had 25-cent boxes, and they were top loaded. And I'm like, I can't believe you have these. And this was top loaders were still in demand at this point. And I'm like, damn, I'm just gonna buy, I'm gonna get a bunch of cards just for the top loaders, and then the cards a bonus. And I said, what are you going to do? Are you doing any? And I asked, because this was Saturday, I think, at the show. And I do know from his 2019 show, he sold a bunch of boxes in bulk the following day, the last day of the show on Sunday. So I asked him and I said, are you going to do any bulk deals on Sunday? So he's like, no, I'm not going to do any bulk deals because they're top loaded. I just didn't have any time to take these out of the top loaders. I can go to ComC and sell these top loaders for, 10 cents, 15 cents a piece. I'm like, okay. So I went back and I'm thinking, okay, they were 25 cents a card. And I'm like, I bet he's going to do some type of bulk discount. Maybe he's not going to sell the boxes. He raised the prices on the last day of the show. No longer were they 25 cents. They were 3 for $1. Like, you gotta be kidding me. But I did notice as the hobby went up like this, so did the prices. Cards that were once in quarter boxes were now in dollar boxes. Dollar cards were now $3. So that's a trend that I picked up on even last year and now I think we're seeing it on the downtrend because people are into them for $1 a card. So, they should be in quarter boxes, but they bought into them for 50 or 75 cents. So that's, that was even a thing during the peak was, you know, quarter boxes were dollar boxes and all that. Randy says, I swear if I see one more 1920 Hoops premium stock card, I'm going to scream. Start screaming. I've got a whole bunch. I actually did really well on those cards, so I can't complain. Even though I still have several hundred, I can't complain. And every once in a while, they sell out of my eBay store. The Herman effect has worn off in Madison. Let's see. Cooter says, I've borrowed Russia's World War II strategy when it comes to hobby buying, retreat, and wait for winter. A dealer can buy everything. They only make money, aka profit, when it sells. Victor says, I will be at 706 John Nolan Drive over the 4th of July, dropping my son off at UW for a summer program. Very cool. National should introduce shopping carts this year. Better way to mow down pelicans. Victor, I didn't realize the campus was on John Nolan Drive. I'm staying at the Sheraton. Very cool. The campus is not on John Nolan Drive. It's John Nolan Drive is kind of the main road to get to downtown and where the campus is. So you jump off the Beltline onto John Nolan Drive, cruise in about 2 miles, and right along the lake, and that'll bring you into downtown. John says, 3 for $1, change for 34 cents, please. Randy sold out my entire table to the very first person who walked up. Here's the trick. Know how much you spent on the cards, sell them at a price the buyer can make good money. Absolutely. Love that. So yeah, so it's we're in this weird state. We're in the hobby's in a weird state. And I think there's, just like with anything, there's multiple, there's not 1, 2, or 3 reasons why the situation is where it's at. It's multiple things going on at once. And I think the 2 biggest, the economy and summer are the 2 main drivers of where we're at right now. So it'll be interesting to see this Saturday at the Madison Card Show how things turn. In the past, I've had a lot of, hey, do you have any tables left? Hey, do you have any tables left? Because, and I get it from a summer, I'm, as a dealer myself at shows, I'm like waiting, like, hey, I don't know if I'm going to set up at this show. And I'm kind of waiting because we get so few nice weekends. So it's like, I don't want to, I totally get why people are saying, dealers are saying, I'm just going to wait until September. I totally get it because we live in Wisconsin. We have 8 months of winter here. And so in the 4 months in May, June, July, and August, we want to be outside. So I get it. So we'll see. And we could actually be outside around other people where, that wasn't really the case in, especially in 2020 and to an extent, 2021, it was still kind of in that weird recovery from the COVID crap. Jenny says my eBay sales past 31 days are up 52% from previous 31 days. So I don't know. I don't see what everyone else says, I guess. So yeah, I am, let's see, from a dollar standpoint, I am down 40%. So from a dollar standpoint, I am down 40% in the last 30 days. And then my impressions are down 9%, which that's frustrating because I've added, I'm over 13,000 active listings now. And, I probably added 1,000 in the last week or so. So I want those numbers to start going back up. However, I did mention earlier in the show, my impressions over the last 30 days a week ago were like down 30 to 40%. And now it's only down 9%. So I am seeing an increase, but it's still like when you see that down arrow in that red, it's cause for a little, cause for uncomfortability. Is that a word? Probably not. Uncomfortability. I can't even say it. Comfortable is a word that I cannot say. Comfortable, 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 uncomfortability, uncomfortability. Randy says 3 reasons: economy, summer, and more importantly, cards tanking every day. And cards tanking every day is kind of a cause, is kind of the reaction to the economy in summer. Cooter says, I just realized my Instagram photo is a picture of my beer and brat I took on the U of Wisconsin Terrace. In honor of summer, we need to start the show with how to properly grill brats. I'm probably not a good person to go over that. Reputable. Unease, dude. There you go. Unease. How to properly grill brats. I don't think that I am a very and I grill them different ways. I grill them different ways. So, but I don't know if I properly grill them. I think tomorrow is the start of the summer solstice. Take advantage of a down hobby to build up a card fortress like boat. That's in. I wasn't buying these cards behind me, well, with the exception of Bomu, which is recent. But the boxes back there, very few of them were purchased during the upswing in 2020 and 2021. A lot of that was built, bought through the down market when you could go on Facebook Marketplace and buy a truckload of cards for $100. And then all of a sudden in 2021, it's like everybody thinks every card is worth a quarter. And it's just not the case. So starting to see more bulk opportunities pop up than what we saw in 2020 and in 2021. So that's a good thing. Jenny says, I think we're on the last day of spring today and it's 108 degrees. It is going to be warm today. I think I saw like possible heat warning or whatever they call it. So it's going to be in the 90s, I think. We're not going to hit triple digits. 92 today, 96 tomorrow, which, hey, I'll take. I love it. Did you find any Goodwill bins on sports cards this week? So typically they've been running between 4 and 6 weeks apart. So I'm thinking, I think I'm still a couple weeks out before another Goodwill pallet pops up. I'm thinking, I think probably the week after 4th of July, that's when I'm assuming the next pallet will become available is the week after 4th of July. Because it's kind of been the first couple months, it was 4 weeks, and then it was 5 weeks, and then it was 6 weeks. So I think hopefully it's going to be back around that 6-week point. The Gaylord is still in Arizona. Let's see. Summer starts at approximately 4:45 a.m. Central tomorrow. Victor's going to hit 102. What's up with that? I'm right in the middle of Victor and Jenny, and we're only going to be 90 something, 93 today. Dan says 96. I'll take it. You're nuts. I love it. I absolutely love it. I will go outside to warm up, because I've got a t-shirt on right now. But in about 2 or 3 hours after my internal temperature gets back to normal because I consume so much coffee in the morning, then I will put on a hoodie because it's about as cold as a morgue in our house. So I go outside and just sit in the sun, and I love it. And when it's humid, even better. I love the humidity. I love 95 degrees. Absolutely love it. The Chicago weather better be cooler by July 19th. So that's what I had for today. A whole lot of nothing, but here we are 1 hour into the show. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for a great chat. Have a great Monday. Back at it tomorrow morning. Kentucky Reseller was asking about multiple cards in a PWE, so I will do I'll do a video later this morning on how I package those up. And I know Jenny has a great method as well on how she packages up multiple cards in PWE. So I will share that. Card Hobbyist says, hit the thumbs up. Yes, I appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. Have a great Monday, and we'll chat again tomorrow morning.